We are coming to talk about the digestive system. The digestive system. The digestive system consists of the gastrointestinal tract or the GI tract or the alimentary canal that starts from the mouth and ends at the anus, and with its associated organs. So we have, with associated organs, we have the pancreas, we have the liver, and among others, the gallbladder, and among others. So that is simply the digestive system. A system consists of one or two organs. A system consists of one or two organs. So the digestive system consists of the alimentary canal, which is the same as the gastrointestinal tract or the GI tract, that starts from the mouth and ends at the anus, with its associated organs such as the liver, the pancreas, the gallbladder, and among others. And this system consists of two or more organs. That is the system. So the digestive system consists of the alimentary canal or the gastrointestinal tract, the liver, the pancreas, the gallbladder, and among others, of which these associated organs that I've mentioned secrete their contents into the alimentary canal or into the gastrointestinal tract. So that is simply the digestive system. The layers of the gastrointestinal tract or the alimentary canal. The gastrointestinal tract is the same as the alimentary canal. So let's move on to the layers of the gastrointestinal tract. So we have our outer serosa or adventitia. We have our muscularis or muscle layer. We have our submucosa, then our mucosa. So these are the layers of the alimentary canal or the gastrointestinal tract. I've already said that the alimentary canal starts from the mouth and ends at the anus. Layers of the digestive system from the diagram we have on the board. The layers of the digestive system from the diagram we have on the board. So with the layers, as I've already said, we have the outer serosa or the adventitia. We have the muscle layer or the muscularis. We have the submucosa and the mucosa. So when you consider this diagram, I have differentiated the layers in such a way that you will understand. Even though literally that's not how the diagram is supposed to be. But for better understanding, I have differentiated the layers so that understanding will be easier. So this arrow is pointing the outer serosa. So the outside of the tube or the alimentary canal is the outer serosa. So the outside of the tube is the outer serosa. The next layer is the muscularis or the muscle layer. The next layer is the muscularis or the muscle layer. Then the following layer is the submucosa. Submucosa, as the name goes, sub. It means that it is beneath the mucosa itself. So submucosa. Then we have the mucosa itself. That is in direct contact with the food that we eat. So the moment somebody takes in food from our mouth, it will pass through this alimentary canal. And the layer of the GI tract or the alimentary canal that is in direct contact with food is called the mucosa. It's called the mucosa. The layers of the alimentary canal starts from the mouth and also ends at the anus. So the layers is not only at the esophagus. It starts from the mouth and ends at the anus. So every part of the alimentary canal has these layers, which is the serosa, the outer serosa or the adventitia, the muscularis or the muscle layer, the submucosa, and the mucosa itself. So the mucosa is a part or a layer of the gastrointestinal tract that is in direct contact with food. So when somebody takes in food, it is the mucosa that is in direct contact with that food. Mucosa or adventitia is the outer part of the alimentary canal. Is the outer part of the alimentary canal. Then we have the muscle layer or the muscularis. The muscle layer or the, so as the name goes, muscles aid in movement. It means that in order for the alimentary canal to contract or dilate or constrict, it all depends on the muscle layer. It depends on the muscle layer. So with the muscle layer, we have outer longitudinal muscle, then inner circular muscle. Outer longitudinal muscle and inner circular muscle. So the outer longitudinal muscle contracts in order to shorten the alimentary canal or the gastrointestinal tract. Then the inner longitudinal muscle contracts in order to narrow the diameter of the alimentary canal. So the outer longitudinal muscle contracts like this in order to shorten the alimentary canal. Then the inner circular muscles contract this way in order to narrow the lumen of the alimentary canal. The submucosa is the layer of the alimentary canal that is found between the muscularis and the mucosa. The submucosa is the layer of the alimentary canal that is found between the muscularis and the mucosa. So the submucosa is the layer of the alimentary canal that contains lymphatic vessels, blood vessels, small glands, nerves. So in MCQs, when they ask you which layer of the alimentary canal contains lymphatic vessels, blood vessels, nerves, and small glands, is the submucosa. Is the submucosa. So the submucosa contains blood vessels that supply the mucosa with blood. So the brain of the gut is the same as the enteric nervous system or the parasympathetic nervous system. The brain of the gut is the same as the enteric nervous system or the parasympathetic nervous system. So this nervous system or this nerve plexus enable the GIT to be able to secrete their fluids when necessary. So signals will be sent to the brain so that the brain will be prompted whether a particular enzyme is supposed to be released, a particular fluid is supposed to be secreted, and also other fluids like the hydrochloric acid and among others. The mouth or the oral cavity consists of the cheeks and the lips. It consists of the cheeks and the lips that contains teeth and mouth. So that is it. At the roof of the oral cavity or the mouth, we have the palate. So we have the soft palate and the hard palate. The soft palate is found at the posterior part of the mouth. At the roof of the mouth, we have the palate. We have the hard palate and the soft palate. The hard palate is found at the anterior part of the roof of the mouth. Then the soft palate is found at the posterior part of the roof of the mouth. So on the posterior palate or the soft palate, we have a cone-like organ or structure called the uvula. On either side of the uvula, we have lymphatic organs called the tonsils, and they are responsible for immunity. The lips bounce the mouth. The lips bounce the mouth. The muscles that are found in the lips are called the orbicularis muscles. Orbicularis muscles. Then the lips have a pinkish color because of high amounts of blood supply, and also the epithelium of the lips is very thin. That is why you see the pinkish color of the lips. Cheeks also bounce the mouth or the oral cavity, and the muscles that are found in the cheeks are called the buccinator muscles. The muscles that are found in cheeks or in the cheeks are called the buccinator muscles. So these muscles contract and also relax in order to flatten against our teeth and also our jaw. The tongue, as we already know, is an organ that is found in the oral cavity. That is found in the oral cavity. The tongue contains skeletal muscles that are covered by mucosal membranes. The tongue has a structure that connects it to the root of the oral cavity, and that is called the lingual frenulum. The lingual frenulum. So lingual frenulum limits the back movement of the tongue. The lingual frenulum limits the back movement of the tongue. Then we have the taste buds. The taste bud, we have the fungiform, we have the filiform and valid. We have taste buds on the tongue that is responsible for interpreting our tastes. So signals will be sent to the brain in order for taste to be interpreted. And these taste buds are the fungiform, the filiform, and the valid. Let's move on to the parts of the tongue where tastes are sensed. The parts of the tongue where tastes are sensed. We have sweet. So sweet is found at the tip of the tongue. Sweet is found at the tip of the tongue. Bitter is found behind the tongue. Salty is found at the posterior lateral. We have already learned about the positions in anatomy 1. So posterior lateral means that behind side. I hope you get me. Those of you who have learned anatomy 1 know what I'm talking about. Then salty is posterior lateral. That is behind side. Then sour is anterior lateral. That is in front side. So that is it. So these are the parts of the tongue where tastes are sensed.